Hey everybody, I am on the line right now with Daniel Garcia. Limitless Wrestling's Vacation Land Cup's coming up December 19th. You can check it out on IWTV exclusively. It airs at 7 p.m. Daniel, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Your opening round matchup is against Lee Moriarty. Normally, I'd start by asking, what you're looking forward to about facing him. Uh, who else you're looking forward to facing, not looking past him, but the bracket seems almost somewhat secretive. So, what are your thoughts going in, not only just facing him, but not knowing what's next until really the night of the tournament?
Jed, I'm really excited to wrestle Lee Moriarty. He's someone I've been a fan of for about a year now. He really started to take off during the pandemic, got to pick up some steam. He's gained a lot of notoriety in the independent scene. He's been wrestling for GCW, Paradigm Pro Wrestling, a lot of places in the Midwest, really building up his resume. And he's very talented. He has a online aesthetic that I really feel like was missing in pro wrestling. And to match that, he's great in ring. So I'm really excited to mix it up with him and maybe even profit off his cloud a little bit once I beat him.
Uh, and again, like I said, not to look past him, as you said, he's really kind of taken the current climate and made a bigger name for himself. But anybody else that you think fans should be looking forward to, or just somebody you have your eye on from that area?
Yeah, I was supposed to wrestle Christian Casanova in March. It was a limitless show that was scheduled, but it got canceled because of COVID. It was supposed to be a number one contenders match for the limitless championship, and obviously that fell through. Anthony Green, he went to NXT. He had to vacate the title. So now the Vacation Land Cup is for the Limitless title. So I'm hoping at some point in the tournament, I'm going to be able to see him and we'll be able to have the match that we were supposed to have in March.
And I just mentioned, you talk about wrestling scenes, and people think of specific cities like Chicago, Philadelphia, California seems to be kind of blowing up. But between Limitless and beyond, and then if you look at upstate New York, you have Empire State Wrestling. There's a lot going on between upstate New York and New England, and it seems like people are just catching on to it as far as a streaming audience, more than a regional audience. What is the appeal for not only you continuing to work there, but what do you think is going to be the thing that continues to bring fans back?
Well, I actually feel like for a long time, Northeast, North America, this little top right hand corner of the map, I feel like was the prominent destination in pro wrestling. Think about all the people that came out of the New England and New York area, everybody on the NXT roster. So many people came from this area. In this area, as in a whole region of the country. But I feel like now the Midwest is the very relevant era, or the very relevant area in pro wrestling. The Midwest is where you're getting a lot of cool startup companies like Paradigm and GCW runs a lot there, and also just places in that Midwest territory. People like Cole Radrick, AJ Gray down south. I feel like that's the attention that's the focal point of pro wrestling right now. And I feel like I'm a little that kind of upsets me. I rep the Northeast hard. I'm from Buffalo, New York, Buffalo kid always. And I feel like it's time for us to take our position back. I like being from the most prominent area in pro wrestling. Like I'm a very competitive person. I like when the Northeast is hot and popping and relevant. And I feel like we can take that back from the Northeast a little bit. I think a lot of people in this tournament are from Maine, Massachusetts, New York, that kind of area, Pittsburgh even. So it's going to give a lot of Northeast people an opportunity to shine and show that I think it produces the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah, a couple of the other names that you're going to see in the tournament, you have JD Drake, Ace Romero. You mentioned Christian Casanova. He's been confirmed as a tournament entrant, but we don't know his match yet. Two of the other names that are really making a name for themselves, even on a bigger level, the Butcher and the Blade. They've made their way through wrestling for the past few years. Pepper Parks, and he's gone under different names. Andy Williams has really, you know, has the rocket ship strapped to him, however you want to put it, in AEW. But you got a chance to not only work with them, but, you know, what does that do for you as, you know, a Buffalo native, seeing two guys come from that background getting to have the national spotlight like that?
Yeah, I think from a lot of areas, a lot of people will be from the same area and they might have interacted here and there, maybe wrestled a match, maybe trained together once or twice. But in Buffalo, it's completely different. Butcher and the Blade, a lot of people might just think they're just from the same area. Maybe we talked once or twice. Nah, like those two dudes are some of my best friends. I talk to them every single day in a group chat with the Buffalo guys, Kevin Blackwood, Kevin Bennett, Puff, the Butcher and the Blade. Um, Pepper Parks is one of my original trainers. He's my OG. Andy has been a great influence in my life. So it was really cool to be able to wrestle them in such a big stage. It was I wrestled them a couple times before, and but just doing it to be able to do it at AEW and to see them get opportunities in the main event, wrestling John Moxley, wrestling just on national television every week is crazy to me. Especially someone like Pepper Parks, where he's been in the business for 20 years, grinding, like hustling, not getting any opportunities, and for it to just pay off for him in the past couple of years, and for Andy to be semi-new in the world of professional wrestling, maybe been training for like 5 years, and to see how far he's been able to take this in a short amount of time, it's really inspiring.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing and rewarding to see. I still call him Pepper, but Blade, you know, find this level of success, because I really caught on to him when he was doing Impact, and it was kind of like they had Allie be the focus and he was just kind of tag along, but really giving these guys, like these two guys, a chance to, like, they're a real team. They're not two guys thrown together. They came in together. They developed together. So, I mean, when you're across from the ring, especially on that stage, is that still like teacher student relationship, or is that two friends trying to show each other up?
No, I feel like it's two friends trying to show each other out. I think I've surpassed the level of being intimidated or being in awestruck of anybody in a ring, let alone somebody who I spend so much time with on a weekly basis. It's just me wrestling with other human beings, me trying to beat somebody else. It's really not me, oh, I'm wrestling my trainer. It's not like that for me anymore.
The other match you did have was against Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss. And can you just talk a little bit about the taping process? Because if I remember correctly, they were taped around the same time. So just not only working two different, like completely different styles of teams, like you, Butcher and Blade are kind of more of a brawler type. Joey and Sonny are a little bit more technical, if you want to define them that way. But what was it like just getting to work with two different teams like that in such a short amount of time, and just, you know, the general reception after seeing it air on Dark?
Yeah, it really is like a stark contrast of styles. You have Butcher and the Blade, who are two diesel jacked up hosses, like brawlers. And then you have Janela and Sonny, who are two completely different unorthodox wrestlers. Sonny, who can do some high flying stuff, dances, like he can really come at you with anything. And then you have Joey, who he's a brawler, but a different kind of brawler. You never know what he's gonna pull out. He could come off the top rope with like a splash. He could dive on you on the outside when you're not even looking. But he can also do some technical stuff, as you've seen with me and him. He chained with me a little bit, and he held his own. And he's not someone who's really known for his technical prowess. So I feel like that's the mark of a really good professional wrestler, somebody who can adapt to different styles and still put on entertaining matches, no matter who they're in the ring with.
Yeah, and I think he's said it before, but you know, people pigeonhole Joey as being a deathmatch wrestler or a hardcore wrestler, but he actually has a lot deeper skill set than people will give him credit for. And I think this team kind of shows that too. So for anybody who was like, oh, why are they teaming? I think maybe look at it that way. Like, at least you're getting to see a different side of him instead of the whatever was going on the first year of AEW.
Yeah, I would completely agree. And they're just both super entertaining. I think they match up together really well. it's a team that you don't think would pair well together, but somehow they pull it off.
So you've had an interesting career. That's putting it mildly. If people don't know, you were involved in a pretty serious accident almost 2 years ago now. And the AEW dark matches came a few months after it happened, or not a few, but it was relatively soon after you broke two legs. I'm good to see that you're back in the ring and everything's good. Everybody survived, but it was a serious crash. And I think the thing I remember the most is I remember you posted the video. You're cutting a promo. You're in the hospital. You have two broken legs, and it's like 2 weeks later, and you're cutting a promo like, I'm gonna be back. Like, I don't know too many people that would have that sort of strength, positive mindset after that. So where does that come from? And
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep the angles you own at all costs, right? But I think that really just comes from I'm from a very hardworking city, Buffalo, New York. Like, no one has it easy here. It's like a rough city. I come from a single mom who raised me and my two siblings by herself. Like, never came up with excuses, always willing to work hard, always willing to do what it takes. And I feel like that really rubbed off on me. I'm like, I may have broken legs, but I'm going to keep this positive mindset and I'm going to try to better the situation for myself. I'm not going to be able to get in a ring and wrestle anytime soon, but maybe I could build some clout, or maybe I can keep people interested by posting a promo. And I think it's really just hard work, positive mindset. And I think that's where it came from. And it was just something to take my mind off of me having broken legs too. Like, oh, I'm sitting in the hospital for 2 weeks. Let me go cut a promo. It will keep me occupied for a couple minutes, right?
Obviously you're back in the ring. You're pretty much back to normal, but do you have any lingering like side effects, anything you kind of have to look out for training or actually in the course of a match?
Yeah, my legs hurt literally all of the time. I basically put myself through physical therapy, which is probably a dumb idea. But I took it into my own hands for the most part. And my knee, like the bones are always mashing together. My ankle, I was limping first thing in the morning, basically, until I walk it off a little bit. But I still ball either way, I can basically have no restrictions in whatever I want to do. I'm probably stronger than I've ever been before. I run faster than I ever have before. And like I run like 4 miles a day. So even though I have these lingering injuries that pain me all of the time, I don't let it bother me. I push through it, and I still try to be the best me that I can be either way.
Well, I'm glad to see, you're back in the ring doing well. And if anybody wants to catch up on your work, maybe they're learning about you for the first time or haven't seen you work in a while, is there any match that you would point to, whether it's a singles or tag team match, that just, really exemplifies who you are as a wrestler, or, the persona you want to give to the fans?
Some of the matches that I'm most proud of were my matches at Beyond Wrestling Uncharted Territory when I did the Discovery Gauntlet. Mm-hmm. I ran that for a couple weeks. Matches against like Kevin Blackwood, I really liked that match. My match against John Silver, I'm really proud of. And then I have a match from IWS Hardcore. It's a place in Montreal, place with like a lot of lineage and a lot of history. I wrestled Speedball Mike Bailey in a match that I really enjoy a lot still. And I think you can find those all on YouTube. Just look up Daniel Garcia Wrestler.
Okay. Yeah, there's IWTV probably has a bunch of it. I know
IWTV,
yeah. The respective promotions probably put it out. It's very easy to find content now. And kind of when I started this I was looking for wrestling content at the beginning of the pandemic, thinking nobody's going to be wrestling. Clearly, or happily, I can say that's not the case, but it's good to know that, not only is there content out there that is new, but you can go back and look at the archives, find something new if you're not familiar with it. So it's out there, guys. When I write this up, I'll link to it too, but there's a bunch of content out there. But
yeah, wrestling will never die. It's the cockroach of the entertainment industry. It will never die. It will always be the first thing to come back, no matter what.
That's perfect. Daniel Garcia, you can check him out. Limitless Wrestling Vacation Land Cup. It airs on IWTV at 7 p.m. on December 19th. Check it out then. Daniel, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, man. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.